Tuesday the 12th of January. Good morning to Year 3-4 at Cefn and dosbarth Dyfi in Craigahesg. Mr. Wakeling here, and I've received warning there may be an earthquake. Just kidding. We're lucky in the Rhondda. We're never going to have any major earthquakes that are going to damage buildings or hurt anybody. But that's not the case in lots of other countries around the world, particularly in the west of the United States of America, where from the entire coast they are in danger of earthquakes quite a lot. So much so that they have earthquake drills in their school, a bit like we have fire drills. I'm going to play you a video now of an earthquake drill being prepared in a school, and then I'm going to set you a task afterwards. Have a quick watch. It's really interesting to see how they deal with it and the comparisons we can draw between our fire drill and their earthquake drill, which we would never really experience.
Washington State has a reputation for earthquakes. You might not feel them, but more than 1,000 earthquakes above magnitude 1 register in the state. Pierce County is surrounded by the Tacoma Fault, the Seattle Fault, and the Cascadia Subduction Zone.
We know that it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, we know it's a matter of when it happens. And we want to make sure our kids and our staff are always prepared.
Students and teachers in the Franklin Pierce School District are encouraging everyone to sign up for the Great Shakeout. It happens on the third Thursday of October.
It's actually become a routine for us to participate in the Great Shakeout. It's a time every year that jump starts our emergency preparedness work that we do with our kids.
Mrs. Keogh's 4th grade class is learning what not to do when an earthquake hits. If the earth is shaking and things are falling, it's important to know the 3 myths that won't keep you safe. Number 1, don't run and stand in a doorway. You're not protected from flying or falling objects. Number 2, don't run to the nearest exit outside. The ground is moving and you can trip or be hit by falling debris. And number 3, don't take cover next to your desk, always get under the desk. Buildings or ceiling material can collapse during an earthquake. Joining in the Great Shakeout is a great time to review your emergency and earthquake plans and encourage students to apply these lessons at home.
I think they do get a sense of relief of, okay, good, so if there is an earthquake or another emergency, I at least have a plan.
We're teaching reading, math, different types of academic skills. This is just another life skill that they have to be ready for, and it'll hopefully carry over to different situations if they're not at school and there is actually an earthquake.
Now let's learn how to correctly do an earthquake drill. Remember, many students have never felt an earthquake before and may not know what's happening.
Okay, drop, cover, hold.
Your body should be tucked tightly under the nearest desk or table. With one hand, hold the back of your head and neck. The other hand should hold onto the desk. This might look silly, but it's important if things are really moving and shaking. If you find yourself in a hallway when an earthquake hits, run to the nearest classroom and take cover. If you're not able to get into a classroom immediately, duck up against a wall, away from windows, and cover your head with your hands. When it appears safe, the teacher will check the classroom and tell everyone when it's okay to line up at the door.
Okay, quietly line up to exit. Quietly. Very quietly. Careful of anything that's on the floor. Okay, we're going to exit quietly out the building. Okay, hold the door for your friends. Calm and quiet. Calm and quiet. Calm and quiet. Nicely done. Thank you for walking to stay safe. Two, three, 4, 5, 6. Usually after we have a drill, we'll sit down and have a little debrief and talk about the feelings that they had and what they could be experiencing, the worry they might have for their family, or somebody did get hurt and how are we going to respond to that.
We know that practice makes perfect, and if you are not having your students and staff go through the process, they have nothing to fall back on if it does and when it does happen, and no one's immune. Eastern Washington has just as much risk as Western Washington, and it's important that all participate.
We have 415 kids here, and if we hadn't practiced, you can imagine the different types of responses that kids might have.
Back. Okay, so that was really interesting stuff. The things the school have to do to make sure that their children are safe from an earthquake in the Western United States. Now, what I'd like you to do now is, using all that information you've gathered from their earthquake drill, see if you can write me an instruction poster on how to prepare an earthquake drill if we were going to have to do one in Craigahesque or Cefn. It's lucky we're not going to have to, but what would you do? What advice would you give your friends and your teachers in your school to make sure that we were safe should an earthquake happen in Glencork? I'll attach a success criteria as well, so you know which bits you're going to need to tick off, and you should be able to use all those skills you built up from instruction writing just before we went off for Christmas. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing them.